Well, hello, I'm Johnny Rowland, your host of our shooting program, and welcome to today's show. We're very glad to have you. Tell you what, friends, we're doing some exciting things. You know, we certainly didn't want to be disenfranchised from the former network we were on, but here we are now. We're back up to speed, and new viewers calling every week. Also, the gospel show is doing really well. I tell you what, friends, you know, a lot of people don't think that a gospel show will be very exciting, but trust me, ours, we sort of feel like ours is. We've had the nicest compliments on our gospel show. You want something to make you feel better? Well, watch our gospel show at 10 to 10:30 Eastern on Telstar 401, that is, Channel 3, on Sunday mornings. And trust me, I don't think you'll be disappointed. We talk about some pretty hard-hitting things, and we play some gospel music for you, and trust me, it is not dull. So that's one of the things we're trying to do there. Also, the radio program is off to a good and flying start. We're so pleased about being in association with the great American Freedom Network. They have a wonderful list of hosts that give programs all during the day, all during the week. It's really exciting. Now, you can find them on satellite on Galaxy 6, Channel 14, 5.8 audio. I told someone the other day I thought it was 5.3 or 5.5, but it's not. It's 5.8 audio. So that's fun. If you'd like to talk to me, and certainly we're trying to have the judge on as much as we can, so if you'd like to talk to him, well, give us a call. They have a toll-free number, and we'll be giving that a little later on in the program. So anyway, well, that's a lot of programming here, friends. I'll tell you what, though, the programming is not for us. Certainly I enjoy doing it. Got to confess that. Yes, I enjoy doing this program and the other programs we do, but this is a whole lot bigger than about me or the judge or our circle of close people here. It's about all of us, because, friends, we're at a crossroads in our American history, and years from now, someone will look back and they'll write down and say, well, here's what happened. And they will say one of two things. Either the decent people, the gun owners, the concerned patriots of this country stood up and would not accept this line of malarkey on the United Nations, this other stuff, this socialist line that these people are trying to force feed us. Either they'll say the people stood up or they didn't. Now, that's one thing that they won't say about us, and those of you who watch this program, they won't say that we didn't give it our best shot, because we are, in fact. And you know, when Paul Revere was making his ride, he didn't go out there and say, well, friends, you know, the British are making a little noise. Maybe we should be, you know, kind of be on guard here. No, no, no. He rode around from house to house saying, the British are coming. The British are coming. And we're here today to tell you that the United Nations and the New World Order and the socialists are coming. And I tell you what, friends, they have to be dealt with decisively. They have to be defeated. And we can defeat them. We can do it. And the Congress presidential race looks pretty tough, but we can do it. We can do it on a local level. We can do it in our churches. We can do it in our educational institutions. It has to be done, because we not only owe it to ourselves, we owe it to our children and our grandchildren and their descendants, because freedom has to be fought for a little bit every day. It's a lot easier to do it a little every day than have a huge altercation at some point. As those of us remember from our history books what happened in the American Revolution, the Civil War, whatever else, it has to be fought a little bit every day, the fight for freedom. Okay, well, let's open our program today. We have a volunteer water bottle out here at 100 yards, and I think we'll take a 44 Magnum and open this week's program, but no, we're not going to use this Smith & Wesson. How about let's use the Grizzly 44 Magnum, a 1911 on steroids, the Grizzly 44 Magnum semi-automatic. Yeah, that's right, I did say that, a rimmed 44 Magnum pistol cartridge, a revolver cartridge in a pistol. So let's see what it looks like. And we'll apply our safety. I tell you what, a lot of gun. Now, friends, you're looking at the AR-10 from Armalite, and we talked about this gun on the previous program. This is very similar to the AR-15, but it's in .308 Winchester caliber, or 7.62 NATO caliber. A very, very fine gun. This is the target model, And let's take a closer look at this one and the guns it will be compared to. Now then, friends, this is our basic AR-15. This is Colt Sporter, but that's what it originally was, AR-15, which is a smaller rendition of the AR-10 there. And this is a gun probably be most often compared to the AR-10. This is the M1A, or the civilian model of the M14, also in .308 caliber. A very fine gun in its own right, just a little different philosophy in making it. Looking here at the AR-10, this is a gun, of course, designed originally by Gene Stoner years ago. And the original AR-15 was an exercise, one, in simplicity, also an exercise in economy of manufacture as far as the materials go. You know, it's easier to mold this plastic or synthetic type stock than it is to cut, and for that matter, find a fine walnut like a lot of the military rifles used to be stocked with. This is the M1A, which, as I said earlier, is a very fine rifle in its own right, but it has a different philosophy of how it works. One, and we'll look at these cartridges in a moment. Go ahead and take the magazine out. You may hear a little thunder. It starts lightning. We're going to continue this another day, believe me. We're going to go on inside if it starts lightning. You know, that's one thing. A lot of people just don't know when to come out of the outdoors, and when lightning starts getting around, yes, I'm going to be a volunteer to go inside. Yes, indeed. Okay, moving right along. The M14, certainly this civilian model, the semi-automatic M1A, but essentially this is the same gun as the M14 without the selective fire switch that would make it an assault type rifle. This is a semi-automatic rifle, not an assault gun. Anyway, moving along here. The way this gun works, you've got a gas port up here, is a little hole in the barrel, and you have a piston here that's connected to this operating rod right here. What happens when the gun fires? The gas forces some bleed off into the compression chamber, what you want to call it, the gas chamber, I guess that'd be proper here, and it pushes back on this operating rod, which in turn opens the bolt and pushes it to the rear, and then spring pressure, of course, will allow the bolt to come forward and pick up another cartridge and load itself. Now then, that system was essentially adopted from the Garand. That is a very old and very reliable system, still being used today on these guns as well as on the Mini 14 Ruger, which has a similar operating system there. But I believe that Stoner got his ideas from a Swedish rifle. I think, now I stand to be corrected on this, I think this concept was used on the Lungman, which, in a similar concept, not the same thing, but a similar concept, whereas you would have a gas port on top of the barrel, and you have a tube running down on top of the barrel back here into the action, and literally it acts on a piece on top of the bolt itself. And let's go ahead and unload this one. And of course, when the gas, in fact, would just push the bolt back, in the same drill, you have a spring here in the stock. Instead of up here somewhere, you have it back here in the stock, enclosed in a tube. And of course, the spring would push the bolt forward, and it'll pick up another cartridge from the magazine and load itself. So essentially what you have is a somewhat simpler mechanism with the AR-15, certainly the AR-10 way of doing it. There were some problems with this system in Vietnam, and that's what the forward assist is doing on the AR-15 type rifle here. It was discovered in Vietnam. One, they had a general confusion situation around how to maintain these guns when they were first issued. And at first, the maintenance books said, well, they don't have to be clean. You don't have to do anything with them, because they thought that the men in the field might lose parts or whatever else. And turned out that the military had a tremendous amount of very dirty gunpowder. And I say dirty, it left a lot of residue in the actions of the guns when it was fired, and which really made for since they were telling the initial instructions there for the soldiers were, you don't have to worry about cleaning these guns, and then they had very dirty ammunition anyway. It was really a problem, and I've seen pictures of people in Vietnam trying to chamber around because the chambers would get so dirty from that particular gunpowder used in that ammunition that the rounds, literally so much residue left in the chamber, it wouldn't chamber, it wouldn't go forward. So since you don't have a bolt handle, you've got a cocking piece here, a cocking handle. But notice when we'll cock it, this handle is free. It only pulls back. It does not push forward. It only pulls back with any authority there. So the folks there, the designers, decided that they would put a forward assist here, and literally it's a ratchet. You can push it forward and force the bolt closed. Now, in actuality today, that's probably one of those things that's, okay, we know what it's there for, but most of us have never used the forward assist. I was talking to Jim Clark Jr. that day, and he told me in all his shooting with the AR-15 type guns, he's never had to use the forward assist. One, our quality of ammunition is vastly improved over what it was in the Vietnam era. And if the truth's known, there was probably some kind of payoff deal in that powder. Who knows? No one knows at this time just why, even though some of the folks in the military knew that powder was below standard, it was used anyway. So I don't know. That's one of those things that I don't know if we'll ever have the answer to, but it certainly caused these guns to malfunction and probably cost the lives of some very fine Americans because their gun would not function when they need it. Anyway, the AR-15 has proven out to be a very fine and reliable weapon system. A number of other countries around the world are using these guns in addition to us. They've proven to be durable. You have a receiver here made out of a very strong but lightweight aluminum, of course with a steel bolt and of course steel barrel. The composition certainly on the fore-end here is a little different than on our target grade AR-10 here. And let me say something about the AR-10. Essentially, it is just a bigger version of our AR-15, and of course it is made in the .308 caliber, so it would have to be quite a bit bigger to handle that powerful cartridge. But this is the target model from Armalite, and they make several different models that are available. This is top of the line target model. We're going to shoot it in just a minute if we don't get run off by a storm here. But this is one of the finest semi-automatic target rifles available at any price in the world today. Now, Clark Custom Guns has some of these in stock, so you may want to call them about these particular guns. This gun will in fact shoot 5 shots into less than an inch at 100 yards. It is a very fine precision, a long-range varmint gun. I think that these guns will be a tremendous, say, a hunting gun, because you do have precision and you've got the great .308 cartridge. Some of the police departments will be interested in these guns as long-range precision, high-powered rifles for the police. Now, this particular one has some knobs here on the side of the carrying handle and on the front sight, and they're put in place by literally a claw-type clamp, and if I can find that quarter I had earlier. And it's a simple thing. If you want to mount a scope on your gun, just loosen, and of course I had this tightened down really well earlier. There we go. Come on now. Yeah, I tightened it really well. We'll just take this off. The front sight may be in your way in mounting a scope, so simple thing, it just slips right off. And of course the carrying handle does the same thing. Now, and you can see here that you have a situation that you can mount a scope on, and of course it'll be much lower to the barrel line there. So that is a really nice option on these guns. Some of us in competition, some competitions may not allow using a scope, and then you would go back, of course, to your adjustable sights. So that's one feature we thought we would show you about the gun.
The Shootin' Show will be right back after this break for your local cable company or TV station.
You know, friends, all of us as shooting enthusiasts should be subscribing to Shotgun News, the trading post for anything that shoots. 3 big issues monthly with literally thousands and thousands of firearms bargains. Give them a call, 1-800-345-6923, a very inexpensive subscription price. Again, 1-800-345-6923. Subscribe today.
Gun Sight Training Center.
Front sight.
Get it off. Ready? Grip!
People have a tremendous change in attitude here.
Go down to your target, stand about 1 meter back of your target, and do not taste it. Do not taste it. Relay 2, 7-meter line.
Then you go on down to a standard proud.
The methods taught here at Gun Sight have set training standards throughout the world. Defensive weaponry techniques afford the greatest speed, power, and accuracy. Students attending Gun Sight are afforded the luxury of having an on-site custom shop for immediate service or repairs. It is a full-service gunsmith operation, performing the highest quality of custom modifications on all types of firearms, handguns, or long guns. And the Gun Sight Pro Shop, a retail service dedicated to providing the best shooting products and items available in the world today.
Now, friends, for information on the Gun Sight Training Center, on their custom shop, or on their pro shop, give them a call, area 520-636-4565. Area 520-636-4565. Get a catalog, get information on their custom shop, or on the tremendous stock in their pro shop. They're some of the finest people out there, friends. If you go to Gun Sight Training Center, you will definitely come back knowing, one, how to shoot a gun and how to better protect yourself in this dangerous world we live in. Now then, friends, something else we will show you. These guns come with a 10-round magazine. Of course, thanks to the wisdom of some of those folks in Washington. Let's rephrase that. Thanks to the idiocy of some of those folks in Washington, this is what all we can buy now is a 10-round magazine for a newly manufactured magazine. However, those of you who might like a larger magazine for the AR-10 here, the good news is that the magazine from the M14, there's a lot of surplus magazines like this around, they make a little kit that you can buy from the Armalite that will let you use your M14 or M1A magazine. So suddenly you have 20 rounds, which I think is a good idea because these magazines are still out there. And it's legal to do so if the magazine was made, of course, before the silly ban went into effect. Okay, the advantages that this gun will have, one, of course, it's very, very simple to maintain. It's very simple to clean. You have this simplicity of parts like we have in the AR-15 type gun. You just remove this pin in the back, just push it out, pull through, and see your gun breaks right down. You can take the bolt out here for cleaning and maintenance. That means you can clean the barrel from the rear, which you're not nearly as likely to disturb the rifling or the barrel crown by cleaning from the breech end. So this is really a very fine system. Tell you what, friends, the rain has stopped. We did make a run for it with our guns and our camera, and so thankfully we got some rain. We certainly need some here, as a lot of other places in the country do. We hope that hurricane's not going to do that much damage. We certainly hope not. I understand today, as we're taping this, it's near the East Coast there. Anyway, we've got a little dry spot here for a few minutes. It looks like the sun's trying to come out there. Okay, let me do a brief, we'll shoot in just a moment. We've got our target put back up down here at 100 yards. And let's do a brief look at the 30-06 cartridge, the 308 cartridge, and the 223. So let's do that now. You know, if you have a question about a particular caliber or a particular cartridge, one of the new reloading manuals is an excellent source of information. This is the Spear Reloading Manual number 12, in fact, and this is commonly available at gun shops, anywhere reloading supplies are carried. Well, you can get one of these books, and there are a number of excellent books out there. Nostra makes one, Spear, Accurate Arms makes a very nice reloading manual, and of course a number of others. Sierra bullets, Hornady bullets, they all most of the larger companies offer reloading manuals, and you can learn about when certain cartridges were developed and what they're useful for and the different applications and types of guns they're used in. Well, let's look under certainly the 30-06, because it was one of the first smokeless powder military rounds that this country had. I say one of. We had the 30-40 Krag and some others there, some other cartridges used, but let's just read here briefly. It's safe to say the 30-06 is the best known, most successful centerfire cartridge ever developed. It served its country well in 3 wars, accounted for countless head of game all over the world, still holds many target shooting records. The U.S. military adopted its first rimless 30 caliber service cartridge in 1903 in the famous 1903 Springfield service rifle. Ballistically, the cartridge was similar to the 30-40 Krag, using the same 220 grain bullet at a slightly higher velocity. But in 1906, the cartridge was changed to incorporate a lighter Spitzer bullet at higher velocity, and case dimensions were also changed slightly. The new version was called the ball cartridge caliber 30 model of 1906, and commonly this is the 30-06. Now then, let's turn a couple pages back in our reloading manual. Read on the 308. Like many other successful sporting cartridges, the 308 Winchester began as a military development, and it was more desirable to have a shorter, more compact cartridge. The 30-06 rifle case is about 2.5 inches long, whereas the 308 case is about a half inch shorter than the 30-06 case. Now that's not counting the length of the bullet, that's just the case itself there. And with, of course, newer powder development along in the 50s when the 308 came along, and plus the actions could be shorter on these machine guns and semi-automatic rifles such as we have here today. You didn't have to have the length of the action working so far, and the case looks to be a little fatter than the 30-06 case, certainly up here around the angle where it's reduced for the neck there. It looks to be, and I guess I could check that, but the 308 is actually a slightly more efficient cartridge case. The way it works, it is one of the premier target rounds available for target shooters today. It's an excellent long-range hunting cartridge for medium-sized game. The 308 is essentially 100-150 feet slower with heavier bullets. Now, when you use a 150 grain bullet, 308 is pretty darn close to the 30-06. There are some loads in these manuals that have the 308 just right up there close to 30-06. You only see the real advantages in the longer case when you go in using the heavier bullets. Now, both of these are much more powerful than the 223 Remington, which is the 5.56 military round of today. You know, the full power battle rifle cartridge such as the 308 or 30-06 was designed to be effective on targets way out there, whereas as we've said before on the program, the 223 was never designed as a cartridge to kill an enemy soldier. It was designed to wound, because it was felt like that having someone in a hospital and have doctors, nurses, surgical facilities tied up would be a greater drain on the enemy, as long as you could put that soldier out of commission, than would be if the soldier was completely eliminated all at once. So that was the concept behind this, and the Russians have used it with their 7.62 by 39. The Germans actually started this trend, the medium power combat type cartridge, back in the 30s. So this is just two entirely different schools of thought. Well, there are some advantages to this little bitty cartridge. One, you can carry more of them. A soldier can go out and have literally more rounds in magazines because it's quite a bit lighter, but it just doesn't have nearly the power that the full-size battle rifle cartridge has, such as this 308. And for certain applications, well, the 308 is vastly superior to any 223, just due to the fact it's a much bigger cartridge case, and it will send heavier bullets at greater ranges than the 223. I like the 223 as a carbine cartridge. It's an excellent varmint cartridge, one that is easy to use even for home defense. Women or people of smaller stature can more easily shoot the carbines with the smaller cartridge. You don't have nearly the recoil. And plus, you can use the 223 in full auto situations, such as the assault type use, which we as civilians don't have anyway, never have had in large numbers anyway. But it's much easier to handle, say, than the 308 in a full auto version. So most of your 308 size battle rifles that I've seen have been in the semi-automatic version anyway, because it was discovered on the M14 that the 308 in full auto was very, very difficult to control. I would assume that the AR-10, if it had a full auto option, would be easier to control due to the stock configuration, the way these guns are made, certainly your straight line here with your bore. Well, let's go and shoot the gun and get a couple of groups. Now realize we're going to be shooting 3-shot groups today because one, we just have the open sights, and I have some surplus ammunition here, and it looks pretty good. I found it at a bargain here locally. That's just what we happen to have handy. But I'm suspecting that this gun with this heavy barrel, this target version of the AR-10, is going to shoot pretty darn well. It just depends on my eyesight, my ability to see through these aperture sights out here at our 100-yard target. So let's do that right now and take a look at it and see, in fact, go ahead and load our gun. And we'll see what it'll do for my double sandbag rest. And I do want to mention that there does not seem to be as much perceived recoil. One, this is a heavy gun because it has the heavy barrel, or a heavier gun. It's not terribly heavy, but you have a different recoil sensation than some other rifles due to this stock configuration. And we'll take one more. All right, well, like I said, we're going to shoot a couple of 3-shot groups and just see what it'll do, and we'll fast forward through that while I do this. No sense you sitting there watching me take my time on these shots. So let's do that and see how the gun performs. You know, friends, whether you want to be out on the range enjoying your .22 long rifle, or maybe you want to shoot a 9mm or a 38 special, or maybe you want to shoot a bigger caliber like a 44 or a 45. Or maybe you want to see how your rifle or handgun groups. Simple matter to put up a target stand here. For information on the tremendous shot stop target systems, give them a call. Their phone number 1-800-444-2038. Again, the shot stop information 1-800-444-2038. Soldier of Fortune magazine, published and edited by Robert K. Brown, former Special Forces A-Team leader, delivers the goods. For over 20 years, Soldier of Fortune has been on the lines covering wars from Rhodesia, El Salvador, Angola, Grenada, Burma, Panama, and Croatia. Anywhere a shot has been fired in anger, Soldier of Fortune has been there with in-depth, on-the-scene commentaries. We were on the cutting edge at Waco, the Randy Weaver siege, and covering the Oklahoma City bombing, and now at Jordan, Montana, with Soldier of Fortune correspondent Jim Pate being the first reporter to enter the Freeman compound. Each issue of Soldier of Fortune features articles by internationally known weapons expert Peter Kokalis, evaluating what's good, what's bad, and what's new in the field of weaponry. Soldier of Fortune is in the front of the battle to protect our gun rights, and we're constantly on the alert for federal abuses of power. Subscribe now at the special rate of $28.90. Call 1-800-877-5207 and receive 12 action-packed issues of Soldier of Fortune magazine. In addition, you will receive a free copy of Fighting Firearms edited by Peter Kokalis. Again, 1-800-877-5207, 12 action-packed issues of Soldier Fortune magazine, $28.90.
The Shootin' Show will be right back after this break for your local cable company or TV station.
My name is Jim Willey. I'm here today to introduce you to the Little Freedom Association. Our goal is to unite the citizens of this country together to promote and protect our Constitution and our constitutional rights, especially the Second Amendment, because it's what protects the rest of them. If we took all the patriotic, moral, law-abiding citizens and joined them together, we would have the single largest group in the nation. I can't see how anyone out there could not be concerned about our Constitution. For sign-up or more information, we may be contacted at P.O. Box 1436, Craig, Colorado, 81626. Phone number is area code 970-824-8771. I'd like to thank Johnny and the judge for the time on this show today, and I'd also like to thank everyone out there.
Well, Jim, we certainly applaud everything that you're doing here. Now, friends, we went down there and got our target, and I'll tell you what, I'm impressed. Again, we have just some surplus ammunition today, and our first group we shot was, in fact, just over 1.25 inches, about 1.3 inches here for 3. And now we settled in a little bit and we made another group, and look here. How about just over 1 inch? 1, 2, 3 right here. Just over 1 inch. So I think that is terrific accuracy. Again, with the varying light conditions we have today and me just shooting with the open sights. So I'll tell you what, put a scope on this gun and get some match ammunition. And Jim Clark Jr. told me that these guns would shoot into it less than 1 inch at 100 yards with good ammunition, 5-shot groups. And I believe that. In fact, they may do better than that. This is really an exceptional piece of equipment. If you would be interested in one of these AR-10s, in fact, from Armalite, give Clark Custom Guns. They've got some in stock, and they can get you whatever you'd like to have. Give Clark Custom Guns a call, and we see this as a very, very fine target gun, certainly a very fine full-size rifle in semi-automatic variation there that a lot of us would really like to own. Now, Armalite also makes some 223s and makes several different versions of this gun. This is the top-of-the-line target model, and you might want something else, something a little bit lighter, or maybe you'd like a 223 by Armalite there. And if Clark's recommended, I tell you what, it is going to be excellent in quality, and I'm certainly want to mention that. If anything the Clarks recommend, it's going to be pretty darn good. Trust me on this one. So, all right, the AR-10 from Armalite, and call Clark Custom Guns in Princeton, Louisiana, if you would like more information on these and if you'd like to get one. Friends, what do Jim Clark Sr., K. Clark Michalik, Jerry Michalik, and Jim Clark Jr. have in common? You can find them all at Clark Custom Guns in Princeton, Louisiana, one of the finest custom gun shops in the entire country. They offer all sorts of custom packages on 1911s and other semi-automatics, from race guns to custom carry guns. They also offer a number of different custom packages for the Ruger 1022, and also have some very economically priced new 1022s in stock.
Clark Custom Guns offers some of the best revolver packages available anywhere, including action jobs on your Smith & Wesson or some other fine revolvers. In addition to custom work, they also have a completely stocked gun shop, anything from bullets to powder to accessories that you might want. Clark Custom Guns offers some shooting classes. You need to call for availability. Friends, it's certainly good for the shooting show, but good for yourselves when you call and get a Clark Custom Guns catalog. They have all sorts of things listed about their products and services and excellent prices. Give them a call. Area 318-949-9884. Again, 318-949-9884. Clark Custom Guns, the complete custom gun shop. Give them a call today. Tell them you saw it on the shooting show.
Friends, here it is, the excellent Rossi 971 VRC from the good folks at Verde Firearms Corporation. Remember now, this is a compensated .357 Magnum, all stainless steel, lifetime warranty, a very nice rubber grip. Tell you what, friends, these are really, really nice guns. Rossi has come so far in the last few years, and now they're building a first quality revolver. So that compensator really does help the .357 Magnum's recoil. Absolutely a most impressive firearm. Friends, here it is, the excellent Rossi 971 VRC. See the compensator down here and the end of the barrel. This is a 6-shot all stainless steel revolver, very nice custom grip, cushion grip here. And this is available through the Verde Firearms Corporation for $270 plus $5 shipping and handling to your FFL or to your favorite FFL holder. This is really an excellent buy. Again, that lifetime guarantee. Give Verde Firearms Corporation a call today. It's a free call, 1-888-215-1515. Again, Verde Firearms Corporation, $270 for this great Rossi 971 VRC. Give them a call, a free call, 1-888-215-1515, and tell them you saw it on the shooting show. Well, friends, we hope you're enjoying our program today. We're certainly enjoying bringing it to you. We have several things to talk about, myself here and my esteemed colleague Leroy Scott, the good judge. That's more than we can say about a lot of the Clinton appointees and some of the other judges. We have a good judge here. How you doing, sir?
Well, pretty good, Johnny, I guess. I have had a nagging suspicion for some while that we were better off with a Democrat president than we were with a Republican.
Now, why would you have a suspicion about that?
Well, it depends on how liberal the Republican president is.
Mm-hmm.
If he's liberal or has no specific philosophical beliefs, then he tends to strong-arm the members of his own party, as Bush did with the Congress, and as Reagan did to some extent, as Nixon certainly did, strong-arm members of his own party.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to strong-arm members of the opposite party. That's what's happening now. We have a Democrat president, and we've got a Republican Congress, and the Republican senators and representatives don't get anything from the president anyhow.
Right.
And so it's almost impossible for the president to strong-arm them. But because of patronage and such things as that, the president does have the power to strong-arm members of his own party.
Right. Well, now this is leading up to something, I'm sure.
And if you look at all of the votes that have been taken in the present Congress since in the past year and a half, you'll find it was almost straight along party lines.
Mm-hmm.
And these were the votes that the president vetoed. He vetoed along with the minority in Congress.
Mm-hmm.
But he could keep his party in Congress in line so as to make it impossible to override his veto.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I got a very interesting rundown on Mr. Dole. here recently.
Well, apparently something has happened to Bob Dole. He is essentially, would you say, and we did a radio program on this yesterday morning. We were guests on the American Freedom Network yesterday morning as we're taping this on Wednesday, and talking about apparently Bob Dole is just not concerned about the votes of gun owners. Am I right on that?
Well, it's a funny thing. He did something here the other day that alienated millions of gun owners and didn't gain a single vote for him.
Didn't get one vote, but alienated millions of gun owners.
Now, I guess he figures those people don't have anywhere to go.
So they'll have no choice but to vote for him.
Well, yeah, there is a choice.
I mean, that was his idea, though.
Basically his idea. But there is a choice. I don't think Ross Perot is the choice.
No.
Besides, Ross has the most amazing ability to talk for a long time and not say anything.
Not say anything. Well, one thing he does is, you know, Larry, charts don't lie. Charts don't lie, Larry. I mean, that's the main thing I've heard from Ross Perot.
Well, where there is a choice is the Libertarian Party.
Well, you know, friends,
The Libertarian Party is on the ballot in almost all the states, has almost always been on the ballot, and is a truly conservative party. I see that as far as gun owners are concerned, I see the Libertarian Party as a possibility. I know of some very significant Republicans that have privately confided to me that they may very well vote Libertarian. If it becomes obvious that Dole is going to be defeated anyhow, and of course I don't think that's obvious at the moment, but if it becomes obvious that that Dole is going to be defeated, then why not vote for the Libertarian Party? Let the Republican Party know that they are not going to take gun owners for granted. And that all they have to do is just get a little bit more conservative than a liberal Democrat president, and a little more yielding on the gun ownership issue, and therefore they don't have anywhere to go.
Well,
I don't feel like I've got anywhere to go. That's the part that irritates me. With Pat Buchanan, we had a place to go.
We had a shot with Pat Buchanan. We really did. A lot of us feel that way. Friends, this is something that we're most concerned about. Bob Dole was no hero to most of us in the beginning, but we hoped that he would at least be reasonable. But now he apparently has declared war on Gun Owners of America, the organization. He's apparently has an axe to grind with our friend Larry Pratt, huh?
Yeah, but since Gun Owners of America is only a small part, it's not more than about a tenth the size of the NRA. Beating the Gun Owners of America also beats the NRA, and Clinton himself said that 2 years ago that the NRA was responsible for 40 members of Congress being defeated.
Well, you know, Judge, even if Clinton admits that, even if the lunacy we have in the White House now would admit that, I cannot fathom Bob Dole turning his back on gun owners. I don't understand that.
Well, again, I think he just figures they don't have anywhere to go. And I'm thinking seriously about voting Libertarian. I don't agree with everything the Libertarians say, but on the other hand, whatever they say, they've still got to get through Congress. And if we get a good Republican Congress, and Newt Gingrich apparently got Dole to soften a little bit on what he was going to say. Newt has vowed and has not gone back on it that the gun ban would be voted on in the House, and it has been. He has vowed that no anti-gun legislation will move in committee or on the floor as long as he's Speaker, and he's held true to that. Bob Dole said that the gun ban was one of his legislative priorities a year and a half ago.
A year and a half ago.
And now he says it's not a priority. That's not important. I can understand his theory that it couldn't pass, so why worry with it? It could pass the Senate perhaps, but it wouldn't get past a presidential veto.
Right.
Well, that's fine. But then balanced budget amendment was the same way, and he knew it was going to get vetoed.
Well, that's the reason we all thought that it should have been voted on was to find out
which senators would vote against us. So then we'd have someone to go after, huh?
That's part of the reason.
In their reelection campaign.
The Shootin' Show will be right back after this break for your local cable company or TV station.
Now, friends, you're looking at the cover of the New American magazine, and this is so appropriate, that freedom shall not perish. And of course, this is the issue you'll get with your Shooting Show subscription, the Oklahoma City, the Case for Cover-Up issue. This is absolutely, friends, the finest news magazine available in this country today. It comes every 2 weeks, $22 for a 6-month subscription to the New American magazine. You know, friends, among the interesting topics, you have a picture of Hillary Clinton here holding a baby and asking the question, does your child belong to the state? Well, I think we all have a good answer for that. And on the other side there, we're looking at Russia's global crime cartel. All sorts of things that we not only need to be concerned about, but we need information on. What do you have there? What you have?
Some new issues of the New American.
Yes, indeed. And friends, this is such a terrific news magazine. Let me just read something that the New American sent to us that they wanted to communicate to you, our viewing audience. The New American supports the U.S. Constitution, including the Second Amendment, and feel there is a real threat to the Second Amendment. We feel that the best way to fight this threat is by exposing what is being done, who is doing it, and how it fits into the big picture of what's happening in and to our country. I think that's awfully well put. Says the New American is political and conservative, but not party-oriented. This is very important. We're just as likely to call to task Republicans as Democrats. And also our new byline on the magazine, that's right here, that freedom shall not perish. I think that is just excellent. We feel that only informed Americans can make intelligent and responsible decisions at the ballot box. Friends, give them a call. The New American, $22 for a 6-month subscription. It comes every 2 weeks. 1-800-727-TRUE, 1-800-727-8783. Give them a call today, and please tell them that you saw it on the Shooting Show. Friends, this is the new custom carry gun for the Shooting Show by Clark Custom Guns. It is a Smith & Wesson Model 10, a special purchase from the Canadian Police. These guns are in as-new condition with a 3-inch heavy barrel, chamfered cylinder, a very, very nice action job, a spurless hammer, a very fine custom carry special from the Shooting Show by Clark Custom Guns. Give them a call, area 318-949-9884 for information on the Shooting Show Custom Carry 38 Special Revolver.
Well, Bob Dole does not care to make a statement to gun owners that is favorable to gun owners. And there are 70 million of us in this country, maybe more.
Maybe more. Just ones we know about. 70 million people.
And maybe a lot of sympathizers that are not themselves gun owners.
Sure.
Frankly, I don't know how we can count gun owners. There's no such thing as registration, and there's no way for anybody to know that I have a gun or that I don't have a gun, except what I've said on this program.
Something called the forward trace. Am I correct on that?
I don't know if that's a good name for it or not, but I'm very unhappy with this whole thing. Now, I don't want any program to go by without my saying a few things about some stalwart friends that we have in Congress. The congressman from the 1st District in Florida, Scarborough, good man, wants to get us out of the UN. Helen Chenoweth in Idaho, absolutely marvelous woman. absolutely marvelous congressperson. I think they call them congressmen, regardless of whether they're male or female. And Woody Jenkins, who's a candidate for the Senate in Louisiana, third right now in the race, despite the fact he spent a lot less money than anybody else. He's a Republican, and I just can't let this go past with another one too, Stockman.
Oh, sure.
Representative Stockman down in South Texas. He's another stalwart friend of the gun owners. There are lots of others. You make up your mind about your own congressman. If you have any doubts about them, let me know, because I've got the voting records. But those four are marvelous people. We must not let them be defeated. Stockman has opposition. Gun Owners of America are trying to get people to send him donations, and I'm sending him one myself. Helen Chenoweth in Idaho, and Woody Jenkins in Louisiana. We have the potential of a lot of very good people. Of course, I know I'm leaving people out. I'm leaving out Representative Bartlett from, I think he's from Maryland. Maryland, I think.
And this gentleman down in Georgia, Bob Barr.
Bob Barr
is a really fine representative, I believe.
Well, we've got a lot of stalwart supporters in Congress who've been with us through thick and thin. Now, Dole has voted, incidentally, with the gun owners more often than he's voted against them. But on some very crucial things, he's voted against them. The Brady bill wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Bob Dole. When there were 3 senators on the floor, and he was one of them, and he let it go through by unanimous consent that the Brady bill was adopted. Now, boy, I wish I was in the Senate. There wouldn't be any of this unanimous consent nonsense. The
3 senators there, they enacted that law, right?
That's correct. And Bob Dole was a minority leader, and he didn't object, and he let the Brady bill go through with 3-0 vote by unanimous consent. Now, GOA raised Cain about that and picketed Senator Dole, then Senator Dole, and I think he got real unhappy about that. He said that Gun Owners of America called him a traitor and everything else. Well, as far as the gun cause is concerned, I guess traitor is the right word. There are some nice things about Bob Dole, but the minuses are beginning to stack up.
And it looks like the government has pulled another scam. Is that your impression, sir?
That is a very distinct impression I have, not only from the information that you got from
well, Bob Brown said it too.
From Bob Brown with the what's his name? With the Soldier of Fortune, but also with some articles that are written here from Tribune newspapers, and that defense attorneys are attacking AT evidence on militia. Apparently, they had an infiltrator into the group. And the infiltrator was the one who was trying to get them to do something crazy. And now they have all these people arrested, and we're holding them without bond. Now, most of them have gotten off now on their own recognizance after being confined for quite a period of time and a lot of hearing in court. Well, I was saying that the one of the government's principal arguments, or one of the government's arguments, may not be the principal one, I'm not sure about that, was that they had a video that the government didn't much like. Of course, there are a lot of movies I don't like, and that I would think the government didn't like if they were real. But the defense attorney said the government would have you believe that just because we happen to view the movie The Godfather, we belong to the mafia. That's interesting, isn't it?
Well, it apparently is another fiasco that is developing.
Well, we've heard of guilt by association.
Yep.
Now this must be called guilt by viewing.
By viewing. Well, I tell you what, that is pretty amazing. Friends, there are so many amazing things going on. Let me reiterate, this is an article that was in our local paper yesterday, in fact. A man was arrested in a small town near here,
and he's been charged with rape and stabbing of this woman who happened to be, I think, a former girlfriend. But as this unfolded, and from this article, here's what I have deducted or ascertained. She called the police to her home about 1 a.m. when this man was trying to break in. And when the police got there, someone was outside there. A hostage situation had developed. And what happened, he brutalized her. From the time she called the police, he got in the house and brutalized her, stabbed her. And I won't go into details because it's pretty. She did live, survive. She's under medical treatment, but was horribly brutalized. Let's leave it at that. And the police were on their way and outside while this was going on. Now, you know what, friends? If she had had one of these handguns, a .38 special revolver, how about an RG-22, she possibly could have stopped that man from attacking her and leaving a horrible memory in her children's minds for the rest of their lives. But you know, if she had wanted a handgun, I think it warned her earlier that he might give her some trouble. You know, there's going to be at least a week before she can go down and pick it up because of this ridiculous Brady bill. She couldn't get a handgun to protect herself. And anyway, so if you think the police can protect you, here is more evidence right here that the police cannot protect you. They can only come and investigate after the fact, after the tragedy has occurred. And there are some very fine police officers out there, and I think most of them will agree, they cannot protect you from the incident as it happens. So
Before it happens.
Before it happens, that's right.
And they aren't there as it happens.
They aren't there as it happens. And I think in this case, they were actually outside while it was happening. Friends, we want to remind you, we will be attending the Soldier of Fortune Convention in Las Vegas in September. That is the week of September 18th through about the 22nd, so you might give them a call. Soldier of Fortune in Boulder, Colorado, that number 303-449-3750. We will be updating this on future programs. Also want to remind you, our gospel show can be seen on Sunday morning on Telstar 401, Channel 3 at 10 to 10:30 Eastern Time. Trust me on this one. I think you'll find it exciting and something you don't want to miss if at all possible. Again, the gospel show Sunday morning, Telstar 401, Channel 3 from 10 to 10:30 Eastern Time. And our radio show, Thinking Right, our radio show is on the American Freedom Network from 12 to 1 Eastern Time on Galaxy 6, Channel 14, 5.8 audio. And that's going to be a lot of fun. You can call in and talk to me, and hopefully the judge too. I think it's really an exciting radio show. It's something that we're doing that certainly trying to assist our project. So don't miss that. Friends, you're looking at a terrific buy in satellite dishes. This is a full-size satellite dish with a potential for receiving up to 500 different channels. It's our special shooting show price, $1496.15. That is complete with installation, remote controlled, a terrific receiver. This is something you really need to call Bobby about. Maybe you already have a satellite dish and want to just upgrade your old system. Well, give us a call, 1-800-728-8486. Again, 1-800-728-8486 for the Shooting Show Satellite Special.